There we go.
Yeah, I'm going, I'm alive. Is that a good one? All right. And it's, oh, that's all right. Could even get it for 2 at that, you know. Get it day before.
All prices include.
Good evening.
250 mile per day limit.
That's all right. It's only going to do about 2.
I'm also going to pick it up.
Oh, yeah. I come in disguise, look. Hello. Hey, Judith. Hey, Carol. How are you doing, my lovely, sweet lady? I hope you're well, Judith. John's sat outside on me, but he is going to bed in a minute. He's absolutely knackered. He didn't have much sleep last night, and then we've had to go to the Nan dearest today and do some gardening for her. And then we've come back, and John can hardly keep his eyes open. So I said I'd come on and do chit chat tonight. So it might not be a long chit chat, but it's a chit chat. So we are out, I think, tomorrow night investigating. So tomorrow night we're going to be live at 9 o'clock. Evening, Gillian. We're going to be live at 9 o'clock investigating tomorrow. I think Claire, not sure if Angie will be with us then, but I know Claire will definitely be with us because we've been waiting a while to get back out. So that's all going to be good. What else is there? I don't know. We've got some more places to phone up. Let me have a look. Don't think I can name them. But where have I wrote them there? The lady for Halloween hasn't got back in touch with me yet, but I'll give a while next week, and then I'm going to phone her. We've also got 2 other places that I need to phone to see if we can get in and investigate. Good evening, Anne. Evening, Peter. Hope everybody's okay. Yes, we're all good, thank you. So yes, we're good, my sweets. But John, he's tired. And he definitely needs some. My snoring kept him awake last night, unfortunately. So yeah. This week we've got to go on next Tuesday to sign the keys over. Then we've got 7 days to move. So it's going to be hit and miss, I think, after Wednesday on investigations, just because we've got so much to do in the house. But what I will do is I will come on at night and either do pendulum, tarots, quizzes. I'll even look at doing some kind of paranormal evening, Terry. I'll even look at doing some kind of paranormal online while John's busy doing what he's doing. I know he's going to come on at some point and talk to everybody, but yeah, he is going to be extremely busy because it's like we've got 2 weeks to get everything packed, and then we actually go on holiday on the 18th of September, which is like about another 2 weeks after we move in. So it's just like all stations go. But yes, I want to say a big thank you to John before he comes and helps. But John, Mike, you know who you are. I just want to say a massive thank you for you for coming in, John, because we would be lost. We wouldn't know what to do. So evening, Carol, my lovely. I know, Carol, but do you know, we miss it as much as what you guys do. So it's like, yeah, it's just a nightmare at minute. We're all this moving. Evening, Yo-Yo. It's yeah. Hey, Robert. Not doing tarots tonight, my sweets, but I will be doing them one night this week. So if you want to pop back on when I'm doing my tarots, I do advertise. And where it says chit chat tonight, I should have put chit chat Tuesday, but I just put chit chat. Where I put chit chat on, it'll say tarot readings or pendulum readings or something. But yes, I do them, Robert, but just not tonight, my lovely. I do. I've enjoyed it. Did anybody work with that book? Sorry, not being on. Spent the last 2 days gutting our bedroom because we had a load of fly ants. Very nice. Did they decide? I hope they paid you board money. So we've been on a hunt for a nest, as Uncle Google said. It's a sign of them mating. Very nice. I hope you charge him rent though, Gillian. Don't let him live there. There's no card readings tonight, Robert. Hey, Linda. I all not been about much. How you all doing? We're doing good, my lovely. But yeah, we've not been about much either, to be honest, Linda. I think the last live. Hey, Scots. I think the last live we did would have been Sunday night, was it? Sunday night. Hey, Rachel. Those they are repulsive. We have them on back garden sometimes. Yo. You know, we're washing pole that used to be in corner. We had a nest there, but we got rid of them. But what we're going to say, I'm doing the pendulum workshop, and I'm going to do that tomorrow, but it might be slightly earlier than 8:30 because we're going out investigation. So those that can't make it, it will be on members for you to watch back at your own leisure. And I will put it under Tarot Workshop so you know where to go when you go into Topic Centre. Hey, Lavina, hope you're well, my lovely. I'm good, thank you. Not doing readings tonight, Lavina. It'll come up and it'll say tarot readings when I'm doing my tarot readings, my sweets. But all is good, my sweets. Evening, Joyce. How are you? Okay, and these dark nights started coming in. Yolanda said earlier, "Oh look, how dark it is," and it's 8:30, and I'm like, "Oh, good day." But then it's cold weather coming in, isn't it? It means like summer's nearly over for what bit of summer we've actually had. We've not had much at all, have we? So yeah, so hopefully I will be doing some back doing me tarots evening. Good evening. It's Amelia from Shine a Light. Hope you're well, daddies. But oh, Amelia, that's fantastic news, my sweet lady. And I hope everything went well with you, my lovely, as well. Evening, Stuart. Hope you're well, my love. So yeah, so it's going to be a fun couple of weeks, I think, for us, and especially John because he'd like carry weight of world on his shoulder, bless him, at minute. No chance of them even getting a viewing, let alone moving in. Lindsay, I hope we have solved the issue with the aspirin powder. Well, if you find it, if you put talcum powder around it, and then you put the talcum powder and leave a path where you want them to go, they don't cross the talc and they will follow that path. I love you too, Amelia, my lovely. Oh, I'm glad you're good, Joyce. Glad all is well. So yeah, so apart from that, I mean, I missed breakfast this morning because we had to go to Jess's. Hang on, I've just had a message from daughter. Get off my screen. So yeah, it's just been a lot. It's just been a long day. So obviously we've not managed to get anything done in the house. They're on members area on Facebook. It's £2.79 to join. Includes tarots, pendulum, plus workshops, extra live footage and stuff I haven't remembered. Yes. So yeah, I mean, members is good. I do bring some of what we do on members over onto main, but when it comes to like workshops and stuff, we tend to do them all on members and just highlight what we do on main page. I love you as well, Lindsay. Lots and lots like jelly tots. I love you all too. So yeah, but I'm gonna try and I might go live tomorrow afternoon on TikTok though, and do some book readings. Read some of them readings for oh, thank you, Soldier, my lovely, brilliant value on members. You get loads free. Thank you, sweet. But yeah, I think what we might do is tomorrow, because I need to go on members and do pendulum workshops. I think after I've done pendulum workshop, I might go live on TikTok and do some more tarot readings on TikTok and also do the book. So I will post and share the post out when I go live on TikTok for those that have got TikTok to come over and join, and everybody else I'll see on members who's doing members. Who's just come in? Laura, evening, Laura. Hey, Kelly, my lovely. Members has a jolly good laugh too in a slightly more risque way. Well, we can get away with a little bit more on members, can't we? Because you're not like monetizing anything. We're all good, thank you, Kelly. But John, yeah, John's having a little rest tonight. Bless him, he's absolutely knackered. Plus, at the minute, we're looking at vans to hire because we need to hire a either a 7.5 ton foot move or one of them we lift on. So yeah. But Yolanda and Rob are angels because they're taking Fifi. They've got the joy of having Fifi and Charlie together for a day. And believe me, them two are not easy together, these two little pups, because they do like to play. And then Fifi likes to get a little bit mardy. And then she'll entice Charlie, and then it's Charlie that gets shouted at because he's the one that's bouncing around like a spring chicken all over the floor, and Fifi lays then grumbling at him. So it's not very good. I got bored of my colour hair. What colour are you going? You just woke up. Oh, don't start me yawning, soldier. Don't start me yawning. Is Yo-Yo on that there YouTuber? We'll have to go and say hi. Yeah, Yolanda goes on YouTube, my sweets. I think on YouTube there's normally you like Carol, Yolanda, Joanne when Joanne can pop in. I know Joanne's got a lot going off at the minute. Soldier flicks between Facebook and YouTube. I think Carol does a little bit of flicking as well. Scotty flicks between them both. Steve flicks between them both. But what we tend to do, depending on who's on what platform, if it looks like there's too many on one, then whoever we're last in tends to go on other platform, just so it evens platforms out. So we've got mods on both platforms. Not that, but you know what? Our mods have got it so easy. Because you guys are just amazing. Going chocolate brown. Oh, very nice, Kelly. You'll have to send me a photo when you've had it done. And let me know how it turns out. My nana, when I went to my nana's today, my nana went, "Oh, I didn't realise you were a two-tone colour, Lindsay. I thought you'd gone all full head blonde." And I went, "No, it's more like we're supposed to be a chocolatey brown, but we all red I've had on. The red sort of like coming through on the brown. Evening, Dawn. How are you, my lovely? Yeah, so lack of sleep. Hope you made up for the lack of sleep the night before. I wish John could have made up for some lack of sleep. I do both at once. Yeah, you've done all three at once, though, aren't you, Scots? If we're on TikTok as well, you're on all three platforms. You know, you must be like that constantly. But yeah, no, yeah, John didn't get much sleep. When we went to bed, I sort of like dozed before. It's okay if he falls asleep before I do, but if I fall asleep before him, then poor bugger don't get no sleep because my snoring is just so loud. Not that I'm admitting to snoring because I don't snore, but apparently snoring noises come from my mouth and from my body. And yeah, so about 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning, I think John come downstairs. Then I followed him downstairs about 4:30. He made me a coffee. He then went back to bed at 6, but couldn't sleep. I fell asleep down here, and then my eyes, you know, when you wake up when you've had a shitty night, and then your eyes are sort of like glued together in the morning, and every time you open them, they like really do just like close, and you just want to go back. That's how I felt this morning from not having much sleep. But luckily, my energy levels are a little bit different to John's. When he's tired, he really is tired, whereas though I can be tired, but I'm still quite energetic. At times. 4:30, I was just going to sleep. Then I know you're all night owls. Can't believe it. Do you know our mod chat? The moderator chat is stupid because I mean, you've got to think it's Steve's morning or it's Steve's daytime, isn't it? So Steve's really active in mod chat at that time because it's their daytime. Yolanda's a night owl, so she don't go to sleep till, I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish sometimes. We've got Scotty that don't sleep. We've got Soldier that don't sleep. We've got Carol that's in and out asleep at minute because she's not very well, but she's getting better. She's on the mend. Hey, Andy. We've got Andy that doesn't sleep very, very well. So our mod chat's like on fire at night. It's quite good. Scott is multitasking. Yes, he is multitasking. That's me, John Lindsay. He has to give me a nudge to turn over. Say, yeah, but I don't. John can tell me to turn, and I'll turn, but then I turn back. But while I'm turning back, I'm crying because I'm wincing in pain. So there's no winning. There's no winning. You're a night owl, done. We keep saying because I go through like bits. I go through like spats. So the other day, I think I slept for. I think what time did I fall? Did I sleep in daytime when I went had that big sleep? I think I slept part at day, then I fell asleep. I think it was about 8:30 at night, and I woke up at 11:30. Then I went to bed and fell asleep about 1 o'clock, and then I didn't get up while 10 next morning. But Insomniacs Anonymous, that's what we should call a night one, isn't it? You're gonna have to send me that in mod chat so I can copy and paste that so I know how to spell it. But evening, Claire, you're up for Wednesday night, aren't you, my lovely? Yeah, but we'll have to do a live one night and call it Insomniacs Anonymous. And we'll all as night owls can come on and we can have a chit chat at night. Might even do some stories or something, or look at doing some activity on night. And that's what we need, a nighttime insomniac chit chat. You'd have to go on live, yo. We'll have to log you on live and you can do chit chat at night. But yeah, so hope everything's well with you, Claire, my sweets. I spent 15 years being a night caring for someone. Well, I think that's what's buggered me up, to be honest. I think it's the I used to work nights a lot, especially when kids were younger. I had to work nights because nobody could have them during day. So my night patterns went to night work, and then obviously in care work, you work in nights. And I think your body clock gets used to it. And I think no matter how many times, how many years you've been out of it, your body clock's still used to that sleeping, isn't it? I'm going to send you some snooze slide sheets on. I was the same before I got mine, but so much easier with the snoozle slide. What's the snoozle slide sheet? Is that like a sheet that you just pull and your body flips, or do you have to do it yourself? Hey, mate, how are you, my lovely? How's the arm today, Scotty, mate? Oh, yeah, Scotty, you had your jabs. I ruined my sleep schedule by talking to too many Americans. Don't blame them. Don't blame their time zone. Blame yourself for not closing your eyes and putting your phone down and going to sleep. I love the nights. I agree, Lindsay. I think the body, yeah, I think it does. Climatizers. I'm glad I read that one right. But yeah, so I am sorry that it's not a proper chit chat Tuesday as we normally would be. I do that. Scott, I play games on Yank teams. Surprisingly, the arm's fine. I didn't even realise until my mum mentioned it. She's still got fever and chills and headaches. So, I hope your mum gets better, Scott. I think it's just that initial first bit into so true, sleeping well. Kids was asleep, exactly done. But yeah, so I do apologise. It's not a proper chit chat Tuesday, and John's not on. But yeah, he does need his shut eye, don't you, dear? He's just sat here outside on me. He's just like he don't close his eyes to go to sleep, because if he does, he knows I'll turn camera on him and I'll show you him sleeping, because he says he doesn't snore, but he does this gentle snore. If John goes to, I used to be able to put my head on his chest and I'd just listen to him breathe and I'd just pass out just with sound, because he does this really soft breathing. It's right good. That's some good news then. What's good news? Oh, his mum's fine. That's good. Nolan's, it's a sheet you lie on in bed and it helps you turn over with no effort at all. Oh, I have to have a look for them, Julie. You don't have to send me one, sweet, so I can have a look for one. You're going to bed now. All right, baby. Pardon? You don't want a sheet in bed. One sheet does plenty. Oh dear.
Come on, Fee. Oui.
Evening, Jules. Hope you're well, my love. You can leave her down here with me if you want. She might just follow you when you go up, or I'll let her out before I come to bed. So night, sweet dreams. So yes. John might be tired, but he's still on it with the jokes. Of course he is. Of course he is. He'll not lose that. Everybody saying hi and bye. Hi and bye. Waiting for tea. Been working all day. Ordered a vegetarian. Very nice. I had the best night's sleep ever last night. I swapped my phone for a book. I was snoring. Always do, Claire. If I start reading, that's why I tend to put stories on and listen to stories at night, because it helps me sleep. Oh, thank you, Kelly, my lovely. But yeah, so what's everybody been up to? I've actually, do you know, today I'm actually quite annoyed with myself. Today's been one of the highest days that I've had my calorie intake today, and it was 1,163 calories today. That's a high calorie day for me. But I did have curry for my tea. What did I have? I had a chicken tikka masala with pilau rice from Tesco's, and it was only 381 calories. And I had roasted new potatoes, 200 gram, and they're around 190 to 200 calories. So that was my tea. The blue light from phones screens is bad for sleep. It is. It is. But you can turn it down though, Scots. Amazon have them. Promise they're the best thing ever. I'll have a look, or I'll get John to have a look for me tomorrow, Gillian, and see if we can get it. Does anybody else use them slide sheets, or what it is that Gillian's saying? I had triple cheeseburger and chips. Oh my God! You know, if you calorie counted that, Scott. Yeah, but you're young. You see, when you're young, it don't matter. But just remember, if you take the C off your chips, it's hips, and that's what you'll get when you're in your 30s. You can eat all crap you want, but you'll still get no. Actually, some people are so lucky. I walked along the canal today, very similar to the canal I walked down yesterday, just opposite direction. I lead a very exciting life. You do. You've got a little life of luxury, dear, at the moment, till it all comes crashing, and you'll be moving in, and it'll just be like a hectic period for you then. Yes. But yes, I've been out delivering cleaning chemicals to the site for my staff road. A nightmare. Oh, bless. As I hope we managed to get it all out and sorted done. And yeah, Yolanda more outside than me. I know. Do you know she's hardly been in? I thought me and John had done something. I had to give an assessment to them the other day. I says, have we done something to upset you? They were out every day. Every day they went out. From about 12 o'clock, 12:30. They disappeared till 7:30 at night. I says, John, have we done something to upset them? They buggered off. So I had to ask Yolanda when she got back in, and I said, have I done something to upset you, or has me and John done something? And she went, no, why? I said, she's never in. But the weather's been really nice, and Charlie has got so much energy. He's such an energetic dog; it's unbelievable. So yeah, cleaned the entire house, weeded the garden, done some washing, put the ironing away, tackled some paperwork. I'm absolutely knackered. I bet you are. I've just visited the Nana, watched John do the gardening, and that's it. Then I've come home and sat in my chair, and I've done no tell since. Pauline's list, she honestly did ask, bless her. I did. I struggled to eat. You struggled to eat it, really, Scott? You struggled to eat it. Get plenty of walking, do you good. Do you know I said that, Carol? I think getting outside in fresh air, I think it sets your mindset as well. And I think it gives you more of a bounce in your step when you can actually get out, and even if it's just walking or a 10-minute brisk walk or whatever it is, just getting out, I think it really sets your mindset for week or for day. Homemade pizzas, the kids wanted them doing in a barbecue oven, so a 30-minute job turned into a lot longer. I thought it was on the ball as I made the pizza dough at 9 a.m. this morning. Barbecue can whistle until tomorrow to be cleaned, parrot out, and normal house stuff. Oh, bless you. I'm starting. Don't jump in, will you? Things are never that bad. I wondered why she come back wet through, soldier. She was dripping. I'm starting on the Forest of Garden tomorrow. Bought a hedge cutter. Oh no, I got back garden to do. Which no, because it's like sun and then rain, then sun and then rain. It's like everything's just like multiple blowing. Hey, Paul, my lovely. I hope you're well, sweets. Nice to see you back. I know you've been back a bit because I've been watching you, but it's nice to see you back. Stupidly ate my chips before the burger was filled with the third of the burger left. No way I was leaving it. Always room to squash it in, Scotty. Just remember it comes out other end, so we're all right. Woohoo! And impressive stuff. Starting Forest. Oh, that's good, Paul. Is it a lot better than Paul? You throw, or have you got to go back? The ducks would throw you back out. You'd be like a yo-yo. Oh dear. Just nipped over to the dark side to say hi to everybody. You know, you're a naughty and Claire. I hope I haven't just timed Claire out. No, I've put a post up on screen. Don't know why I did that. So yeah, I hate moving. I said to John, do you know, 10 years ago when we moved, I says to John, this is going to be it, ain't it? We're not going to move ever again. This is going to be for our forever home. And we always said, well, actually, we'll probably move once more because we knew we'd got to downsize once kids had gone. Because we've got Jordan living at home, we got Mike's living at home when we got this house. And I weren't expecting Mike's. In a way, I were expecting him to go and stay with his dad because I've had him all time. So obviously, it went because of COVID and lockdown, and now he's working. It's easier to do it all at his dad's than it is to come back home. So he just pops in every now and again when he wants to, and he still comes and sees me, and I meet him every week. But I didn't think he'd leave home till he were in his 20s or late 20s. I were hoping. Actually, I were hoping he were going to live here forever. So then I'd always got a baby at home. But unfortunately, it don't work that way, does it? So yeah. So now he's been spoilt by his dad. So I just saw your post yesterday. These bloody ducks. It's not the ducks you have to worry about. It's the swans and the geese. Because the swans and the geese will have you. When you move, you'll find all sorts because you use. Well, do you know, Dawn? Evening, Diane. John just come down from loft of the day, and he brought the last 3 bags of clothes down. Bear in mind that must have been about 10 bags of clothes come down. And I'm not just talking little bags, I'm talking big bags and boxes of clothes, suitcases of clothes. I don't know why I hoard clothes. And we've gone through them and we've took them all where they needed to go to and everything else. And then he come down, when he come back down yesterday, he said, you do know, don't you, that these offer upstairs in the loft, it's all Michael's old toys. I'm like, I can't throw them away. And he went, Lindsay, you can't take them all. He's 17. These are like toys for a 5-year-old. No, they won't. They'd be, I think, from when Mike's were about 7 onwards. So tomorrow. I've got to go all the way through all his toys. But do you know what gets me though with toys is the amount of money we spend on kids' toys. I could have opened a boutique. The amount of money that's spent on kids' toys. It's like clothes, all Mike's clothes. I must have got 4 bags of Mike's clothes because I just bag them and then I'll just set to John put them in attic and I'll sort through them. Because all his clothes are brand new. I mean, he wears uniforms. He wore a uniform every day, so the clothes that he was wearing when he outgrown them, they were practically brand new still because he only wore them for like 6-week holidays or if you went away. And I've took some rights, and I said to John, I mean, it's all gone into clothes bins and stuff like that. But Jesus, I'm like looking at it, I'm thinking, I don't want to bin that. I've got about 4 of his coats in my wardrobe. One of them is his Sheffield United coat. Now Jacob's only 6, and I think this coat's for about a 12-year-old. I think it's about for a 10-year-old onwards. It's more teeny, I think. And I said to John, I can't bin that. I says that I've got to hey Mimi, I said I've got to keep that coat because it's Mike's United coat. It can be passed down to Jacob, but when Jacob gets a bit older, so God knows what we're going to do with these. Still got one of my kids at home. He's 32, just can't afford to get his own place now. It's so difficult for him, Linda. Michael were very lucky when he went to his dad's. his dad's wife, Tina, she's like working at schools and colleges. So when Mike's went, Tina were really hands-on. We helping him with apprentices and apprenticeships and stuff like that. Luckily, he managed to get a really good apprenticeship for his age. And it is actually working for the college. He's working for Sheffield College. But at the minute, he's not actually been into college and met anybody who he's working with because it's all done at home at minute on computer. But it's such a well-paid job for his age that he couldn't refuse to do it. So had 4 kids, must have spent hundreds of pounds. And me, it costs a bloody fortune, doesn't it? I keep looking, and I mean, we've got neighbours with kids, up you don't want to go to them, do you, and say, "Oh, do you want some boys' clothes?" Because I don't know whether you're going to offend people. Would you offend your neighbours if you went up and said, "Oh, I've got some kids' clothes here. Do you think they'll fit yours?" And then you throw back 8 bags at them. But yeah, Yolanda, I've just had my ironing dropped off. That's the one thing I don't do myself. And it's took me 45 minutes to put it all away. I sent 3 massive bags. Well, I used to have a woman come round and do my ironing. My nanan used to do it. And then when my nanan couldn't do it anymore, I used to pay somebody to come and do my ironing because I hate ironing. John's the ironing man in this house. If I iron, I actually put more creases in it than I do before I even ironed it. Or if I iron a t-shirt, because I don't slide it over, I iron it on it, and because I don't pull it under, yeah. So John hates my ironing. Mine love playing with a wooden spoon and a pan out of the cupboard. See, they what days, Gillian. Them days are long gone now. Kids want everything that costs a fortune. I'm just dreading going through his toys because I know I'm going to be like, well, I can't throw that. It's got sentimental value. I can't throw that because that's one of his first toys. I can't, and it's just going to be a nightmare. So I don't know whether to say to Mike, because I know we bought him toys, but I might say to him, look, if you want to do a car boot with me on a Sunday, I'll do a car boot and then you can sell it. And then I won't feel guilty getting rid of his toys. I don't do anything either. I go for shabby chic look. So does Rob, which to his aggravation. My move out came back when COVID came, as they don't like cook it, do you know? These swines, aren't they? Fabulous. You can never have enough clothes. No, you can't. I've got sizes from about a size 12 all the way up to a size 22. That's sort of like in some are boxed, some are unboxed, some have now been boxed, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, I don't own any clothes that need ironing. Do you know me? Me nanan, every time I go to bed, my nanan used to come round to do ironing for me. She'd say, Lindsay, why do you buy clothes that need ironing? Why don't you buy them like this? And my nanan would be wearing these that I can't even describe the material, but they were that right clingy material type of thing. And I go, nanan, I can't wear that. I don't like that. And she said, yeah, but you always go to shop and buy the most things that you hate, that people hate to iron. But it's just, yeah, just a care bag. If you know anyone that helps less fortunate, I'm sure they'd be happy. Or the salvation. We do a lot. Only ones I don't do is those that leave bags outside doors. I've stopped putting clothes out for them because I found out actually half of them that come around collecting here, it's not going to charity. They get the clothes and then what they do is they go and weigh them in and get money for it. So I've stopped putting clothes out in bags now. So yeah, I'd rather just take them and put them in them bins that you've got round Sainsbury's and Tesco's and stuff, and then yeah, eating your favourite, Lindsay. What am I eating? I was jealous of Scottish Chippleburger. No, I'm jealous that Claire's ironing board is an ornament. Oh dear. Do you know, Lindsay, John bought me an iron for my. Do you know Julie, I'd have hit him with it. Do you know if it was a joke and I got her a present after it, I'd find that funny. I would be mortified if John bought me an iron or an ironing board. Even though I did buy my sister an ironing board cover, but that's different because that's just a cheap, chitted gift to gear. But no, I would be insulted if somebody bought me some kind of cleaning product for a birthday or Christmas. I think that's I think that's just going too low below belt. I don't know. Do you remember the days when we all had hand-me-downs? People are too proud now. It's such a shame. You know, Claire, it is because this. So, I mean, like I said, Michael's clothes were practically brand new, and I'd got ages from like from ages. I mean, clothes coming down were like sevens to eights, and then you've got your nines to tens, your 11s to 12 to, and all them, and it's just all that up to like what fitted him at like 15, 16. Because now he's sort of like broadened out and he's taller and slimmer. Yeah, me and my neighbours used to give out clothes to each other, and our kids like exactly. I think it depends, doesn't it, on your neighbours and stuff. I mean, I'm not friendly with one side of my neighbours, and other side they're all right. I get on with, but yeah, one I won't get shit off my shoe from. I would if she needed it. I'd get poo then. Get an ironing board as a Christmas gift. Oh my God, no. Who got ironing board?
Some people do, don't they? Get Hoovers.
Do you know? I'm telling you, if John ever turned around to me and said, "Your Christmas present's that Hoover you've been wanting," I'd make him wear the Hoover. He'd be wearing the Hoover, and I'm sure if I bought John something like that, I'd be wearing it too. It would be, yeah. Next to them kids and my old school uniform. Yeah, I mean, I could have done that with mine, but I don't know how they'd take it. So I think I've still got some of that hung up in wardrobe though, because it's brand new. So I might go and ask her if she wants that. My late partner bought me a snake for my birthday 1 year only because he likes snakes. See, I like that idea of buying a snake, but if you don't like them, Linda, then he didn't buy it for you. He bought it for himself, but he bought it you as a gift because then you couldn't say no. Which is a good way for you to buy something that you want and give it your husband or your partners and buy it for them, because if you buy it as a gift, they'll pretend they like it, but they'll never use it, and then you get to use it anyway. So it's a good way of doing it. Sit outside in sunshine, do my ironing. My husband calls it ironing and topping my tan up. Lindsay, you're so generous. Poo on your shoe. I'd give me poo on my shoe. Uniforms are so stupidly expensive, though, so it's worth handing them. They are, I mean, school uniforms are crazy prices. And especially now because you can only get them from certain places. They've stopped a lot of these people getting them like second hand and stuff. And now every t-shirt or every piece of clothing that they're wearing, they've got to have the school name on. I got bless. I got used to it in the end. Oh, I'm glad you did, Linda. I love snakes. See, a puppy's nice for a birthday present, Dawn. My brother was a nightmare. Always ended up with holes in the knees of his trousers, mum. Patches. I remember them patches. Just used to put a big rip in your jeans just so you'd either get a new pair of jeans or a patch. I used to go to markets and get patches from markets. There was that one stall in market, and you used to go and you just got all the different patches on that you could, and they were like next to no to buy, weren't they? Yeah, the exclusively deals now on uniforms. No, they don't exclusively. No, they don't, Scotty, not at all. Quality. Your mum was a wise woman. I miss what Soldier said.
You bought her a frying pan once.
I bought my mum a new frying pan for her birthday once as a kid. She chased me all around the house with it. I couldn't understand why till she educated me. I should think she bloody did educate you. I'm surprised the frying pan didn't have the dint of like a head in it. Oh dear, lordy. So right, let's see what we're going to be doing rest at week. So rest at week, what we're doing tomorrow daytime. I'm going to be live on members doing tarot readings, doing pendulum workshop number 2. So that's going to be tomorrow. Whether I do a pre-recorded video or go live, I'll see how I feel at dinner time tomorrow. I'll be on for breakfast in the morning as per usual with today's history and tomorrow's history. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we are out on investigation. Claire will be meeting about 8:30ish. And I'll send you location. You know what location is anyway, but I'll let you just give you a quick reminder. So that's Wednesday night. So Thursday, will be breakfast, chit chat in the morning. Thursday night, maybe might do a quiz night, or I might look at doing a spooky story night. If John's up for it, we may go out, but I'm not 100% sure because I know we've just got to tighten his belt for the next 2 weeks, not financially, but time wise. Because he's got to get up so early in the morning, and then some nights he might not be going to bed well late because he's got about 3 days worth of tip stuff to take as well in between all this. So yeah, I remember when school uniforms used to have sew on badges. You did. I remember them. Just buy a blank jumper and stitch it on yourself. Exactly. Now you're not allowed to do that, are you? They've got to have embroidered school logo on. And even if you got it embroidered by, I don't know, say your mum could embroider or your auntie, it's not good enough. It's got to be done. And it's all got to be the same, which I think is so wrong. Things that it would have had a dent in if I bet it would have. Scott ain't no money in that, I guess. I didn't see what Scotty put. No, well, no, yeah, no, definitely no money. Of course, not Yolanda. Could resell them to other kids. You did, didn't they? Used to like unpick them. Poor John, I can't help him. Yolanda, like I said, you and Rob are doing so much that you don't even know you're doing, and taking dog out away and having Fifi is more than enough, my lovely, honestly. My mum taught me many things. All the good in me comes from her. Oh, bless. I hope Michael says that about me one day. Or any of my kids. School where I used to teach at a savings club. So if you needed new uniform and you have money in to replace it, then it don't come as heavy on the purse. That's a good idea. And I think really they should look into doing things like that. But I also think that there should be a charity one at school as well, where people, if they wanted to, can put in for those that can't afford uniform. Because there's nothing worse for kids going to school in uniform that's not new on the first days. I feel really it's very hard for them because again, even though do you know it's stupid, we never wore uniforms when we were at school. We always wore like jeans, t-shirts, or whatever we wanted to wear. We could wear it, but there weren't no uniform in place. Now, bullying went off then because say somebody wore Farah trousers, which were in fashion back then. They'd come in and they'd got the real Farahs on, and then you'd have other kids that didn't have real Farahs, but they were just as nice trousers, but they weren't fakes. They'd get picked on because they weren't wearing real gear; they were wearing knockoffs. Same with trainers. If you would come and like those families that weren't money were tight for them, some of them might come in and they might like Scotty said earlier, or where in chat said about holes in jeans and stuff, and they might not have even been able to afford patches to put on them, so there'd be a bit material. So, and do you know what I mean? There were a lot of bullying in social class, so they brought uniform back in because they were hoping that would stop the bullying. But unfortunately, it doesn't, because the bullying still continues. Because if your uniform is old or older, or it's got, I mean, Michael used to be a cowbag at first. You know, he used to do what I did with my jumpers. You know, on like the cuff part of your jumper, I used to nick it with like a pair of scissors so I could put my thumb through. And on most of my jumpers, my thumb goes through cuff, so it covers off my hand up. And Mike's used to do that all the time. Brand new jumper, and he'd do it, but he never got bullied for it because it were brand new. There were no bobbles on it, but there were other kids at school, and Mike's had come home and he said, "I can't believe somebody's got picked on because the t-shirt it's got a rip on collar, or it got a rip on and they pick, and you know it's awful, the bullying that goes off. But you know it's funny because I said to Yo-Yo today about not about bullying but about people saying stuff. We were on about weight and stuff, and I don't think there's ever been a time in my life when, especially this goes from young teens, when I could say I felt comfortable or I felt that I looked nice. Not that I didn't look nice, but I always seemed to feel bigger than what I actually was, if that makes sense. Now I know I'm bigger than what I am, but you know, that's different. But as a child, but it also comes from like the kids you knocked about with, because you'd put something on and you'd think you'd look lovely in it. And then because were jealous or they couldn't wear what you were wearing, they'd make you feel bad for wearing it. So they'd be like, oh, can't wear that because it's showing too much of your belly off, or you can't wear that because it's showing this off. But then they'd go and wear the same thing. And it's sort of like a lot of it stems from when we're younger into how we go thinking now. And it's such a it's so strange, isn't it, that when we're kids, how we are as kids, even you don't know you're being mean, you don't know the impact it's still having, and yet it's awful to see that as adults people are still doing the same thing. Shoes were hot topic. They were shoes. Scots, I think shoes were worst. Shoes were worst because if you got like, I'm not even going to say Clarks on, you've got Primani shoes on, everybody knew it were a Primani shoe or an Asda shoe, and then you'd have all them walking in with Nike, Adidas, whatever you call them, air shoes and shit like that. And it's want me some brand of trainer wear them. Yeah, did, totally did. I can remember just after, not long after my dad had died. My dad died September 25th, so I bet it was year after. It come to, we were all at first. It were about second year after my dad had died. And my mum got some clothes vouchers through for us. Back in those days, you got like clothes vouchers, but there were only like one shop you could go to in Sheffield, and everybody who got low income or anything, and they got these parkas. And we walked in, and I just looked at my mum, and I went, no. I am not wearing, because they were in 80s. I know some of you won't know 80s, but in 80s, these parka coats were in, but they weren't nice parkas. They were like, they were kids that were on like, I don't know, free school meals and thingy. But because we'd lost my dad, even though we'd got money, we were still classed as a low income family because my mum weren't working. And it were awful. And I says to my mum, and I walked out, and I started crying, and my nana and my pop were waiting in car. I says, I'm not wearing that. I says, you can piss off, you can buy me a decent coat. And they ended up having to buy me a decent coat because there was no, I'd rather have not wore a coat, because you knew what the bullying would have been when you got back into school. And it's awful. Feel so sorry, but I feel sorry for some parents. Carol, it's stupid. Oh my God, you're not wearing Nike. Exactly. Nowadays, lots of people are. They are done, and I don't understand it. I'll never understand why somebody would want to purposely hurt somebody else, and especially by words. I know when we, again, going back to younger, when we still say it now, we'll say sticks and stones may break my bones, but calling names won't hurt me. And that was something that you said 70s, 80s kids, 60s, 70s, 80s kids, you'd say, wouldn't you, Yolanda? Would you say around of that era, 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s kids, sticks and stones may break my bones, but calling names will never hurt me. But when you look at how I looked at that is, sticks and stones may hurt me, and I may be bruised, but that bruise will get better. That word that you've just said, or what you've just called somebody else, that never gets better, and it's awful. I used to wear tough Pathfinder shoes. They're different animal paw prints underneath and a built-in compass. Look at you, you snazzy boy. I only ever got bullied for being weak until I stuck to myself, and they shut up both times. 100%, Scots, 100%. I was lucky I weren't bullied at school. But I used to flip between the popular kids and the non-popular kids, because I'd got family in the popular kids and I'd got family in the non-popular kids. So I was sort of like flicked between them both. So if anybody ever come and tried to bully, you'd always got the bigger one sort of like stepping in. But like you say, once you stand up to a bully, they don't tend to bully you anyway. But I'm lucky I never got into any scraps, any fights or anything during school. I was loud, but I wasn't rude loud, if that makes sense. And I'd never, mental scars take a longer time to heal. Definitely do. Definitely do. I must admit, I am Scotty, you're not weak, you're a strong person, and you've got a big family, extra family behind you now. So anybody picks on you, they've got us lot to deal with, I'll tell you. But no, I can't. No, bullying is just wrong. I want a pair of those wheelie trainers. They do look fun. I'll break my neck in them though. Can you imagine me? It's like the ripped jeans now. If you'd have worn them back then, we'd have been laughed at. You would have. You would have been laughed at wearing ripped jeans. We used to wear them in 80s, ripped jeans. But you know what makes me laugh? The flares. I think it were like late 80s, about 87. Yeah, about 87-ish, alt flares come back in. And me and our Rachel thought we were right cocky, wearing flare. The bigger the flare, the better. And my mum said to me one day, she went, "What is that?" She went, "They ain't just come in fashion." I went, "Yes, they have." She went, "No, they haven't." She went, "They were in fashion when I was younger. The flared trouser." Like, "No, they weren't, Mum. No, they weren't. Blah, 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 blah. These have just come out in fashion. You're thinking a different trouser." And then years go on, and then I had Jordan and Ashley. Jordan would never wear the flares. Ashley would wear flares. Jordan preferred the tighter trouser, but Ashley wouldn't. Ashley would like me. The bigger the flare, the better. And flares come back in, and I'm like sat laughing, and all I could think was what my mom used to say when we come in, and it were like, "Yeah, but it's already been out and done." You're just like, it's just the same styles like repeating themselves. Maybe with a little bit of attrition. Raw skirts were another one, weren't they? I picked on because I wore second-hand clothes. Really, Carol? See, see, I used to wear our Rachel's. Our Rachel used to give me a lot of her hand-me-downs, but again, I won't get bullied because she was like one of the she were in popular group. But then our Rachel would give me stick. So I did get a little bit bullied, but it was more by family, if you know what I mean. But then it weren't because our Rachel always looked after me. We always used to say nobody could slag us off, but we could slag each other off. And that's how sort of like went. I wore ripped jeans courtesy of Bros. And I used to love the Goss brothers. Jenny were a great Brossette fan, and then she turned into hardcore Metallica and glam rock and all this other stuff after Bros Brothers. But it's funny because at Loft we've got some of them Grolsch, them Grolsch things that you used to put on your shoes, on your trainers or your boots or whatever. We've got about 5 of them Grolsch things all fastened together. I said to John, "We're not chucking them away. We're keeping them Grolsch tops." If I can find them out, I'll find them out. I've always been a people person. I can't stand alone and draw a crowd anywhere, and nothing changed. I've always been a people person. I can stand alone and draw a crowd everywhere, and nothing changed. Yeah, I think I was similar to you, Dawn. I could stand on my own or I could stand in a crowd. It didn't make no difference. What about the Oxford bag bands? Who remembers them? I don't remember them. I don't remember them, Gillian. Scotty, I don't think diplomacy or tax works with done pants. What about the Oxford bag pants? I don't know them. Bell bottom 34, 36 flares, but I'd wear them today, me. If I could, if they were still selling them, I would actually wear flares. I loved the flares. Morning, Steve. You're okay? Have you got a note for being late? You best have. I was bullied at school. You'll never forget. I don't think you do, Elaine. I think bullying is such a serious thing. Like we said, words are so hurtful and stay with you. Remember in the 80s, the shell suits were all the rage. I always wanted one. My parents refused to buy me one. I'm so grateful they said no. I had one. I had one. Mine was it was green. It was like a it was like it weren't a dark green, but it was just like a nice it weren't a nice green, but it were a green and yellow shell suit I had. And I always wanted a white one. And my mum would never buy me the white shell suit because obviously it just gets mucky, but them bloody shell suits, they were class. That's true soldier. I miss what soldier said. Scotty, your physical strength will come later in life. Right now, use your brains. It wasn't until I was in the military until I toughened up physically. 100%. That's true soldier. Don't mind being physically weak, but to be honest, I can function in life, and that's all that matters. It is. And you know what, Scotty? You're always stronger than what you think you are. And like you say, if you stand up to people and take no shit, and it doesn't, and I'm not saying you've got to be fighting or you've got to punch your way out of something, but you haven't. You've just got to stand up for what you believe in and stay true to yourself. And yeah, my eldest son was bullied in secondary school. It was horrendous time. He's 34 now and suffers depression. He's on medication. It's being controlled. Bullies don't realise the long. Kids don't realise the long term effect, and adults don't realise the long-term effect either. For going out shoes, I had Oxford's I remember brogues, and I still wear a pair. I like brogues. I like brogue shoes. I used to like them on women as well. I had like painted ones though, painted brogues, I think they were. Took my grandson. They were usually, if it was windy, I told them down, otherwise you would have taken off. Took my grandson's wedding shopping, and my youngest grandson said to older one, "When we get in here, be grateful for what my nanny buys you." And I just laughed at him. Oh dear, I once ironed one of my shell suits. What a mistake to make. Ended up costing me. Oh dear, that was so funny. It was like I once tried to iron for my mom. I were only little, she used to wear underneath skirts when they were in range, and I ironed underneath, and that did same. It burnt to iron. I weren't allowed to touch iron after that. Scotty, anyone touches you onto yo, point me in their direction. I always said to my kid, if there's a always said to my kids, if they bully anyone, they get a crack. Exactly. Exactly. So I had a shell suit, a pink one. I used to love my jumpsuits. I had a shocking pink one with black buttons in the 80s. I had what were it? A Wham t-shirt in 80s. Paul, if I ever see a shell suit for sale, I'm buying it for you. We need you in a photo. I think the worst thing I did well, it's not the worst thing. I did plenty of bad things, but I think the stupidest one was my mum had just bought me a leather jacket, and I'd gone to school in this leather jacket. And before we went into school, we all used to go meet up on garages, and we'd all have a fag. And this particular morning, we saw teachers walking up, but we were only like in second year at that time, so you weren't confident, like, to still keep your fag in your mouth because they couldn't do anything. We weren't on school property; we were just off school on garages. And I put it out, and I wrapped it up, and we were out, and I put it in my pocket. Anyway, we sat in classroom, and they're doing morning call, and they're shouting names out. And I just looked, and I used to sit on a table. I never sat with lasses because I didn't really get on with lasses very well. I thought they were very bitchy. So I always used to sit with lads. And I sat on the table, and I went, "You smell burning." And I went, "Sir, I think there's something on fire." I said, this burning smell coming from this radiator." So he come across, and he went, "There is," he says, "but radiator's not on." He says, "I'll go and get somebody to come and look." In the meantime, he goes out of classroom, and I looked at my well, all inside of my jacket had melted. I'd only wrapped a cigarette butt up in a piece of tissue, not realising how flammable tissue was, and my pocket was just smouldering. I ended up having to run into, luckily, our classroom were at bottom of the steps, and just outside were toilets. I had to run out before teacher got back, put my jacket underwater, sit with a wet coat on me all day, and then when I got home, I had to wait. I went upstairs and I put my jacket under bed, and I come downstairs, and my mum says, "Where's your jacket?" I said, "Oh, it's upstairs. I'm going to get it in a minute." We went out, and I put my jacket on. I went out, and I come in, and I said to my mum, I went, "Oh, Mum," I went, "Look what somebody's done." They burnt my coat on the fire. I says, "They've burnt my coat. My coat was too close to their fireplace, and it's melted all my pocket." I mean, my mum believed me. She didn't think I was smoking at that age. And yeah, it was so bad. No, I weren't drunk. I was sober. I was about 12-year-old. Oh dear. But no, donkey jackets, yeah. It was shocking. I don't even wear dresses now. I always wear trousers. Who remembers the monkey boots? Nope, can't remember monkey boots. I remember moon boots. Oh, you well, Jamie, my lovely. But yeah, it's strange when you start looking back and remembering stuff you did, and you think, God, if we'd have got, I mean, this is how bad we were. At dinner times, we were allowed home at dinner times because we'd got dogs, and because his mums were working, and our Rachel's mum and dad were working, we were allowed home because we got to take dogs. Well, we said we were taking dogs a walk, and we'd go home. And we'd be drinking vodka, we'd be drinking whiskey out at cupboard, and then we'd get a water bottle and we'd fill a water bottle up with vodka because you couldn't smell vodka. And we'd go back into school in lesson, and you were allowed water in lesson, and we were supping vodka while we were in school. How we didn't get caught and told off. And then we'd all look at clock because everybody were in different classrooms. We'd all look at clock, and when it's got to like say 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we'd all meet up in toilets. And you used to have to go and get key from headmaster's office, and they'd only allow one person key. So we'd all arrange to meet up outside toilets. One person would go and get key, come back, and then we'd lock door and leave the key in, so they couldn't get into the toilet without that key being out. And we'd all be lined up in toilets, all smoking and drinking vodka. We were so bad. And then I wonder why I had no education. Only time we got caught was when my mom and my auntie Maureen went into drinks cabinet, and they said, "Oh, do you want a drop of whiskey?" And we knew we'd been caught at that point because we'd filled it with cold tea. So we knew we were caught, but we knew they wouldn't be drinking whiskey, and we knew they'd found out that we were drinking, and we just lied through his teeth. They couldn't prove it were us, but they knew it were us. So glad I'm a guy. 42 and always been a shorts and sneakers person. Unless it's an occasion, and then it's black jeans and boots. Very smart. John wears a lot of like short stuff though, unless like we're out investigating or if we're going out. Compri coats, I loved mine. Can't remember them Compri coats. I wear dresses, trousers, skirts, and suits when working in church. Do you, Dawn? I don't wear them. I won't wear a skirt, and I don't wear dresses, trousers. Don't mind wearing a trouser suit, but I can't. Or clots. I used to like my clots. No, Carol. I was a nightmare teen. You imagine, weren't bad. Like I said, I didn't go causing trouble, and I didn't get myself into trouble with police or shoplifting or anything like that. But I were a nightmare kid. As a nightmare adult, I was a nightmare child. And the word no don't enter my vocabulary. If somebody says no, it doesn't mean no. It means yes or maybe, and then it's a yes. Cold tea, yeah, you got to, you got to fill it up. And there were water in vodka, so it were a right good time. We had a brilliant school bus driver. If we gave him a fag, he would let us smoke at the back of the bus. There you go, Linda. Do you know, they were all about, weren't they? I didn't have skinhead cut, just short back and sides. If that's what you want to call it, Andrew. I got caught smoking every day for a week, and the same bloody teacher. Just shows my luck. See, at that point though, it's not that, you know, and this is the difference now with teachers at school. When we were younger, if we saw a teacher walking towards us, the fag would be out. And even though you could smell it, you'd see smoke coming out your mouth wherever, it didn't matter. But the teachers had a right to shout at us. They could grab hold of your ear, and they'd march you back into school with your ear. It didn't hurt us. They didn't do it to hurt us. It was more the shock factor, I think, and you knew you were in trouble. And it was also to embarrass you in front of all school. Look at her, she's been naughty. But now kids all stand outside school smoking, and a teacher comes out, and they just go, and there's no consequence for them. There's no punishment. There's nothing for them, is there? There's no discipline. If they're not getting, if we didn't get disciplined at home, the discipline sort of like come at school sort of thing. It weren't as bad because ruler and cane had been took out of it, but the physical contact, like a chalkboard rubber being thrown at your head, or a stapler being thrown at you if you're messing about. But so you got that structure. You couldn't talk back to an adult without getting into trouble. But now we've lost that. That's been lost in system. My hair was that long; it was down below my bum. I could sit on it. We'd have cut that off, Dawn. No, I wouldn't really. Sitting behind somebody, and you'd take a chunk off their hair. We had a teacher who had a really bad eyesight, but he would never admit it. And he used to patrol where we smoked. He would stand next to someone and ask us, "Oh, what you smoke?" Oh dear, can't understand that, Jamie. I wore jeans and leather jacket. They gave me a letter every day to take home, but they accidentally got lost on the way. I mean, fancy teachers giving pupils letters to take home to the parents, as if you would have take the notes. I mean, I never even used to tell my mum when parents' evening were, because I knew what were going to happen. They were going to say, "Why ain't she been at school?" So she were never allowed. I just used to say, "Oh, I don't know when it is. It's not happening." Wardong's gone Russian again. He has. What's with Russian? A combination. Well, a combination was a posh donkey jacket-ish without the plastic shiny thing. Yes. At my school, a group of kids were caught smoking weed behind an old. So I think everybody did that, Jamie. Well, not everybody, but I think a lot of people would have done that. Crombie, not combination. I used to get told off by my teacher for masticating the first time he said that word to me. I looked at him in horror. I nearly said that last one. I was always in trouble in school, sticking up for my twin brother as he was bullied. Oh, bless you, Dawn. But you know what? At least you were doing right thing, so you were getting into trouble for the right thing. That's what I'd have said. One of our teachers had been teaching since caning was allowed, and he had kept his cane, and if we weren't paying attention he would slap it down on your desk and scare the shit. Exactly. You know, imagine a teacher doing that now to a kid. Oh my God, they'd be uproar. I hit the wrong button, no worries. That teacher threatened me with detention of having my shirt untucked. How dare he, honestly. But you know, Scotty, do you know, if you'd have said and answered that teacher, but there's nothing he could have done. There's not, oh, what they do have done, they would have got you to, all they'd have said was, right, you're in detention. You're still not going to put your shirt back, you know, you're going to office. There's nothing they could have done. I mean, half at time you could have said, "Well, I've got this thing on my back, and I can't. And it's a personal condition, and I can't have my shirt tucked in." They can't argue point with you. They can't do anything. And I think for me, that's where it's wrong. We'd have been like picked up by ear and said, "No, you're tucking your shirt in," or you'd be just so different. It's so different. Like, we used to have homework daily. I used to fake my mum's signature every week. I can still do my mum's signature to a T. In fact, when our Rachel, my Auntie Maureen, were moving, our Rachel had already left home, and obviously all our Rachel's old bed were in. When they were taking bed down, because it were a built-in bed, when they were taking bed down, my Auntie Maureen says, how many notes were behind with all fake signatures on? Rachel can't do PE today because of this. Lindsay can't attend school today because she's got a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, and we've got to go to hospital. Lindsay can't attend school today because her nanan's not very well, and she's got to go and sit with her while I go and do shopping or something daft. Like, honestly, crazy. I never did drugs. Don't like it. Still don't. A lot don't, Elaine. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. It's a personal choice. Some kids dibble and dabble. Some kids don't. My mom has never touched a cigarette in her life. Not once. Not even tried it. She just wouldn't. Exactly. I always just tucked it in back in front of her, walked off, and then untucked it after. But she's somehow X-ray vision. Blazers. They do. We do know what you're up to. I once said to Michael, I were in the kitchen, and I told Michael off for doing something, and he were walking upstairs, and I says to him, and you can pack it in, because you know, like where you've got like, so our stairs go up, so you've got the stairwell in it, you know, like with balcony, not balcony, what is it? What would you call that going up our stairs? Banister. But it's like a banister, but it's like wood. So it like you've got like the drop behind it. And I told him off, and he was going upstairs, and I says to him, I went, Michael, stop putting fingers up at me because I can see you behind the wall. And he just shot his head up, banister, and he went, can you really? And he was going like that to me upstairs. And I knew he was doing it because I'd told him off, and I just said to him, I says, I know what you're doing. I said, stop putting fingers up me. And his head just shot up top at banister, and he went, can you see me? And I went, yeah, I can. And he had to come back downstairs, and he's looking at wall, and he's going, you can't see me. How did you know I was doing that? And I says, Michael, because I've done it all myself. I says, now get upstairs to your room because you're not coming back down. Yeah, PE. I used to enjoy some PE. I used to hate a lot of it though. My grandma freaked me out when I got my new school uniform with it on the first day of school. That's naughty there, war dog. That's it. Yeah, going like that to the behind fucking door. I swore, man. I was a good girl. Claire, I don't believe you. There was a teacher at secondary school who used to carry a pump in his pocket. If you did anything wrong, he'd put his initials on the bottom of it before he had hit you with it. Then everyone knew you had been punished and by you. Oh dear, mine stairs wall both sides, the middle of house. Yeah, similar to yours then, Dawn. But yeah, and he did, he popped up. It was so bad. But you know, I knew what any one of them were doing. If I told them off, any kids, if I told them off and they were in kitchen, or I used to stop mimimoking me, and they come in and say, "What's mimimoking me mean?" I'll say, "You know what mimimoking me is because you're doing it in kitchen." And times, and it was just like they think we kids think. See, my mom, I didn't think she was stupid. My mom was so naive because she would never have dreamed of. Like I said, she didn't smoke. Um, she didn't. Her first boyfriend with my dad, she weren't a party animal. She didn't do anything. She was so good. She was so good. That if somebody said to me, "Mom, I've seen your Lindsay smoking," she'd go, "No, it's not our Lindsay. No, our Lindsay wouldn't do that. Our Lindsay wouldn't do that. It's not her." So even though people told her, she just couldn't. She couldn't visualize me actually doing these things. So yeah, but my mum were very naive. So I could pull wool over my mum's eyes. Even my nan's eyes, I could pull wool over to a certain extent. But Jordan, Ashley, and Michael couldn't pull wool over my eyes because I'd been there, done it, and got t-shirts, and it was so different. Uh, that's it. Our kids, that cracks me up. Our kids can't imagine us parents as kids and doing the things to our parents. Exactly, they can't, Steve, and they don't understand that we've already done it. We've done these things. You know. But it pisses me off sometimes because I can see them going down a similar path or a similar choice that I might have made. And I'll try my hardest to like say, "Oh, please don't. This is what happened to me." Blah de blah de blah, and they just ignore you and do it. And then afterwards, they're like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" And it's like you've gone blue in face, but they just don't listen to you. I mean, that everybody, I know, totally get that they've got to have their own life and they make their own decisions. But I think sometimes just listen, just listen because we're right in what we're saying. And it's just because you don't want to get them, you don't want to see them get hurt. I tend to agree, Yo-Yo. I got one strike on my record for telling another kid to stop talking while we were meant to be in silence. The kid I told to shut up got away with it, though. That's just a class one, that. If I did anything wrong, my dad would say, "What have you been up? What have you been up to?" I'd say nothing. He'd say, "Well, that little bird told me, so don't lie." Yeah. You know, PE was my favourite. Oh, I hated showers. I hated school for showers. So I used to say, I'm going home at dinner time and I'll have a shower at home. There were ones though, we'd gone into showers. Obviously, boys and girls were separate, and we'd gone into showers, and there must have been about six of us girls in there, and we hated having a shower. So what we used to do is we'd take his t-shirt off, we'd fold his bras down so you couldn't see, and you'd just wrap towel. So you'd actually got your knickers and bras on, and then you'd go in, you'd stand to the side, press button, wet your shoulders, and then come out. And this teacher walked in, and she pulled the towel off every one of us. That there was uproar in that changing room. She never come into changing room again. She weren't even a PE teacher. She was like a stand-in one, and she were never allowed into girls' toilets after that, into girls' showers. And then we were then that were it. Then if we wanted to go home and get showered, we'd all pile back to our house and get showered, because it was just like not doing it. They were just school talk. Just there's something about school showers that just were filthy. The thought frustrating part is half the time I think to myself, do I have the right to say anything to them? That it's just like I was when I was young. Do you know, I have that, Steve. I have moments like that where I think, how can I tell them not to do something when I've already done that? You know, and if I tell them not to do it, are they going to listen, or do I allow them to do it, let them know that I know they're doing it, and not to lie to me if they do it, if that makes sense. And I've gone with, don't lie to me if you do it. So I have that honesty coming in, and now they're honest with me. And again, like I said, sometimes it can be too honest, but I'd rather have that than have doing it behind my back. I'd rather than be able to say, "Oh, I tried a bit of weed other night, Mom," or I had a drink other night," or "I did this or I did that." You know, I'd rather him be honest. So I suppose it's down to an individual on parenting, I think. So that reminds me of how we used to put a finger over our lips to stop talking. Shh, it didn't work. I thought my teacher was stupid for suggesting it. I used to be late for school every morning. My tutor used to say, "Don't worry, I marked you in." My punctual. It was the same with us. Never worked. No. We used to go to Hunslet swim baths at the bottom. Pool towels were yellow. Oh, they were minging. How many times did you get verrucas from going to swimming baths? It were awful. I think every time you went swimming, you come back and you got a foot full of verrucas. And then we used to wear verruca socks because I thought I'm sick to death of having these. Hey, Maverick, my lovely. Claire, you jammy bitch. That's what we do now as well. And we have said that if you want to do these things, we have a space here to do it. And that way we know you're safe. Exactly. That's the way I work as well, Steve. That's exactly how I work it. If they want to do it, I'd rather them do it in a safe location than be out on the streets doing it somewhere where they shouldn't. I hate getting changed in school for a good few years. I wasn't embarrassed by how I looked. I just didn't like being looked at. It was fun getting changed for swimming lesson. Do you know exactly? And it is. I think it's very embarrassing for lads and lasses when they're having to get undressed in because when you think about it, there's no cubicles. You were just like in a room with pegs that you put your stuff on, so you've got no privacy. And to me, I think that were very intimidating as a kid. I hated cross country. See, when I did cross country, I used to start running, and then we'd go and sit in cornfield, have a couple of fags, and then we'd walk across bottom, and then we'd come out just before first runners had come, and then it looked like we'd done it. But they knew they just couldn't find us because we were from school. So I might say, yeah, did that. I live bang opposite school, well, just to the side. I used to go into school in the morning, get my mark, and then walk straight out other side of building, just uphill, past air balloon, straight onto estate, and our home. Evening, Adam. I wonder if they thought that you. I wonder if they taught you that top 10 tape in the military, how to surprise the enemy, finger on your lip. What did soldier put? I'm missing some comment. When you go in, like, yeah. I went to Elland Road, witnessed full house crowd tonight, and never seen it before. Oh, I bet that was good, Adam. Hope you had a good night. Claire, you're so lucky. If we were more than 5 minutes late, we had a special entrance. Going in the receptionist, a special entrance. You did. Mike's had a special entrance, and he got to go through the main door. So everybody that were in classrooms around knew that he was late going in. We'll mark it down, even if our teachers didn't. Yeah. My grandsons are homeschooled. So they will be. Do you know, I think homeschooling done, I think it's really good. I think the only thing that I think kids miss out on, but then do they miss out on it? Because there's lots of places you can take them to interact with other kids. I think for me, homeschooling, I love it. But I just feel sorry for some of them sometimes if they haven't got that outside contact. But I'm not saying yours don't. Do you know what I mean? I'm just speaking in a bigger picture because some people don't. If they're homeschooling, they don't allow the kids to play with other kids because they're different or they think they're different. And I think sometimes we need that people skills more than we need the learning sometimes. But I wish I could have homeschooled if I were clever enough. Exactly, in a wide room with us are facing us again. It's awful, and it's literally. I mean, I still feel that embarrassment now at this age. So to say it's still going off in schools is shocking. I lived across the bridge from school. I did Leeds United 1-3-0. Oh, that's good. Special entrance. Scott Matthew was ace. I once fell asleep in English lesson and he left me to sleep. Yeah, most teachers did, didn't they? And best part is they were so slow at processing the late kids. We could be 5 minutes late to school, but 30 minutes late by the time we got to lesson. Exactly. They miss out on nothing. Have a lot. That's it. Yeah, I'm not saying you would for 1 minute, Dawn, but you know what I'm talking about on that different side to it. I was watching a program on homeschooling, and their kids were playing in garden. And all other kids were out on the street, but yet their kids weren't allowed to go and play with them playing on the street because they went to school and theirs didn't, you know, and I just felt that very strange because it was just isolating them from being around other kids and being able to play. I weren't meaning you with one little bit, my sweets. I know you make sure your kids have got everything. Getting changed never really bothered me much, but embarrassing having my Willie and oh dear. You were one of them that all lads come out going, oh my god, I've seen him. And then it just went round everybody. Evening, Nanny Lane, just a flying visit to say hello. I have to go to hospital in the morning, 8:15. Oh, hope everything's okay, Nanny Lane. Let me know you're okay. And I hope all goes well in the morning. In my final year at college, we lived far away, so me and mates used to order pizza to be delivered to my house for lunch, and we used to go home for pizza and beer at lunch. Gotta be done, gotta be done. Soldier, that got me. Oh dear, that were a class, and that soldier, that were class. Oh dear, goodness me. 8 a.m. Fucky Del. I know, Nanny Lynn. You're gonna have to set an alarm. Set 10. Make sure you've got ringers on all those, so you actually have to get out of bed to turn it off. Or go to sleep now, and then you might wake up early-ish in the morning. Oh, I'm yawning. Right, I'm gonna end it. I think we've had a mixture of conversation tonight. I think it's all been good. I was going to say something, but I can't remember it now. Soldiers made me laugh. I'm just going to be thinking about what Soldier said, because that is something that used to get said when we were at school by other lads coming out at changing rooms. They all used to come out talking about size for each other, and they'd always be one. They go, "I'm not getting changed if he's in changing room." So that was Soldier. It's made me proper giggle. Because I can just picture it coming out at girls' changing room, listening to lads chatter, and yeah, that was our things they used to say. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to say good night to everybody now, because I know my laugh loud, and John's just above me in bed, and I know he won't go to sleep until I come off here, because I can't laugh quiet. I can't do anything quiet. So yeah, I will, Julian. I'll have a look from when I've done this and see if I can see him. So everybody, thank you for popping in tonight. Thank you for coming and chatting. Thank you for talking about a mixture of all sorts of topics. I hope you all go away feeling very light-hearted and still laughing at what soldiers said. But yeah, I hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you morning for chit chat. And we'll try and sort Yolanda coming out one night and doing a nighttime chat while we're all in bed. Yolanda might be more quieter than me, so we might get away with it. So adios, adios. As that is Spanish for good night or goodbye, adios. So yeah, thank you for everybody. Thank you everybody, and I love being with you all a lot. I think it's amazing. So take care, stay safe, have a great day, have a great evening, and sweet dreams. Mwah, and love you loads. And I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.